A few weeks back, I posted a video breaking down 7 different levels of minimalism. That video now has over 800 comments, with so many of you sharing where you feel you currently are on this journey. Hearing your stories inspired me to create this guide to help you find the level that is best for you, since minimalism is very personal and not everyone should aim for the highest level. So in this video, I will walk you through multiple steps to help you understand your current level, map out your struggles, find out what is enough for you, visualize your ideal living space, identify habits to start, and decide if you should take it to the next level. Let's dive in. 1. Understand your current level. The first step to finding your ideal level of minimalism is to get a clear view of where you are right now. I think this is the foundation for knowing where you want to go, and all this will help you later identify what is working, what is not working, and where you might want to make some changes. Here's the list of the levels I came up with for that video. We have level 1, chaotic clutter, then organized clutter, conscious consumer, active simplifying, intentional living, extreme minimalism, and then the last one, ascetic minimalism. If you haven't seen that specific video yet, I suggest watching it if you want to have a better understanding of all this. I will leave a link in the description and maybe a card there so you can just access and get there fast. So to understand your current level, spend some time going through each room, looking at things you own, and in general reflecting on your life. Some questions you could ask yourself are, what do I currently own and why? So think about the things you keep around in your house. Are they serving a purpose, or are they simply just taking space? How often do I feel overwhelmed? Is it rare, occasional, or constant? Understanding and knowing this can reveal if your current level feels sustainable or if you need to make some adjustments, so perhaps simplify your life more. How easily can I find things I need? If you are often searching for items and you lose them in your house, it might indicate a need for more organization or simplifying something in your home. What emotions come up when I look around my space and reflect on my life? Do you feel calm, at peace, or do you feel stressed and maybe distracted? A few years ago, I used to feel pretty depressed about my home. I didn't like it that much, but we have made some changes and now I feel that it's super cozy these days and I like it very much. And then lastly, do I feel like I have a control over my life and surroundings? Answering to these initial questions will help you understand more. Are you satisfied with where you are, or in general, what is your current state? 2. Reflect on your life situation. Consider your life circumstances, including your work, relationships, living situation, and maybe your responsibilities and commitments. Major things like raising children, building a business, or nearing retirement can all influence how much you are realistically able to simplify. Some life stages may require more flexibility, and that could make it quite challenging to aim for a very minimalist life, because you know that there's already so much happening around you, and starting this journey, or not even necessarily starting, but trying to set very high standards for yourself, can just create more stress for you, and that's maybe not what you need right now. So questions to ask yourself: what responsibilities do I have right now? How does my life stage affect my ability to simplify? A lot of people in my comment section say, well, minimalism is impossible with kids, I cannot do that, and that doesn't make any sense if you all have a family. And I understand that it's for sure more difficult to have the minimalist life somebody else has if you have children and they don't have children or have so many responsibilities in general. But that's why you should not look at what others are doing, but consider what you can do. What is minimalism for you? The next question: what are my financial priorities right now? For someone at level 2 who is still purchasing quite a lot of things, focusing on cutting unnecessary expenses might be a priority, whereas someone at level 4 might be focused more on investing and saving. All this can determine if you should focus more on financial minimalism, so living frugally, or earning more, or maybe this is not a concern for you at all and you shouldn't even think about finances that much. you should focus much more on your home. What is happening there? How can you declutter stuff from there? And then reflect on whether you are emotionally ready to make changes and perhaps step back from some commitments, because that's part of minimalism, at least for me. So you don't want to do too much too fast, but you neither want to feel like you are stuck in certain place. 3. Map out your struggles. Identify specific areas where you feel like you are not doing that well, or those could be somehow improved. So maybe that's excess belongings, maybe you have a very busy schedule, or maybe you have very stressful commitments. So you can ask yourself, what specific areas in my life feel overwhelming? Then once you have this answer, you can prioritize your struggles. So review this list and rank things in there based on how much stress or dissatisfaction they cause you. This is actually a variation of one exercise that I have in my course, Simple Life Blueprint, and I think it can help you a lot to focus on the right areas that need immediate attention and not just focus on things that don't matter that much, at least right now. For each of these stressors, you can consider how you might simplify it. For example, if your schedule is super packed, can you cut out 1 or 2 commitments from there? Are all these commitments equally important? Or could be some less important thing? Or if you have too many belongings, just a lot of stuff, can you start by decluttering a specific area of your home? What could that be? Step 4. Reflect on minimalism's potential benefits for you. I suggest writing down these specific benefits. So for example, if you desire just a calmer home, that is an aspect of the level 4 of my levels. Simplifying your space could lead to that exact benefit, but you don't need to simplify absolutely everything in your life. So maybe level 4 is just fine for you. And then something very important, identify what feels realistic to you in the short term and then in the long term. So reflect on what feels achievable in the next few months versus the next few years. If you are currently at level 1 and really overwhelmed by clutter, recognize that moving to level 4 or 5 immediately may not be that achievable. Instead, aim for gradual changes that build this solid foundation for you. So for instance, in the short term, you might focus on decluttering 1 room, while in the long term, you could see yourself living in a smaller space that aligns with level 5 values, but just jumping there immediately could be too much. And you might miss out on a lot of lessons learned during this whole journey. 5. Find what is enough for you. Consider what level or what amount of belongings, commitment feels enough for you personally. This is the point where you feel satisfied and free without depriving yourself. Questions you could ask yourself: could I be just as content with fewer of these things? Challenge yourself to think about whether having less would actually impact your happiness. What would I truly miss if it were gone? What wouldn't I miss? There's no right or wrong answers here, but I think it's good to understand that many times we already have enough and we don't need to necessarily buy or acquire more. It might be even beneficial to just let go of something because we wouldn't miss those items anyway. And I think part of this process to find what is enough is to examine your attachment to physical items. And this is, I guess, one of the main reasons why I'm making this video, is that things are not necessarily bad, even though some people could say that. Things can be extremely good, but having too many things is often bad and just can create that stress. I think it's important to know this level of attachment because for some people, things are more important than for others. So for example, for me, things aren't that important, and that's why it's for me much easier to let go of things and not buy things and like in general live a quite minimalist lifestyle. But for somebody who is really like a collector of certain things, it could be very, very difficult. If the thought of living only with essential feels freeing for you, it might indicate a readiness to adopt a more minimalist approach. And if that feels very daunting for you, don't force yourself into it just because that's something you are supposed to do. So find what is enough, but not too much for you. Step 6. Visualize your ideal living space. So picture your ideal home environment and what it would feel like to live in it. By visualizing this, you not only clarify what you want, but also create something to guide your decluttering and minimalist journey. What elements are essential to my comfort and happiness? Identify the features that are important to your well-being and joy in your living environment. For me, these are these open spaces and especially like plants, having some green there, and then these lights that I have, they just make me feel really good. So consider how this space can influence your daily routines, interactions, overall lifestyle, your mood, how you feel when you wake up in the morning, all these things. Some practical steps that you could take is actually creating a vision board. So gather images, colors, design inspirations that resonate with this ideal living space. For this, you can use different platforms like Pinterest. My partner has used some 3D designing tools as well for this, but I have no idea how they work, so I cannot tell you. But kind of start this process at least in your head to visualize, and then if possible, make that tangible, something physical, so you can always go back to it, because sometimes we just forget those ideas that we had. And after you have that, declutter and organize your home based on that vision. So when you are going through things, identify what are some things that don't serve that idea that you have or vision that you have for your home, and the things that you definitely should keep there. And then maybe perhaps some things that you would like to buy there, for example, plants or things like that. Step 7, consider the habits you want to have. So this step helps to create a calmer path toward minimalism by identifying the behaviors that support your ideal level and overall well-being. Some questions you can ask yourself: how often do I want to declutter? So do I enjoy the process of simplifying, or do I dislike it and wish to get it done once and for all? What role does shopping play in my life? Is it a habitual activity, or do I shop intentionally? If shopping too much is a problem for you, I think level 3, conscious consumer, especially as a short-term goal, can help you to reduce those unnecessary purchases and focus on quality over quantity, which is much better than just shopping unintentionally. How do I feel about my social life? Should I spend more time alone, or should I seek out more social opportunities? I feel like this is part of minimalism as well. If you feel constantly overcommitted, it's important that you spend more time thinking about the time management, prioritization, and maybe saying no to some non-essential things. What are my technology habits? How much time do I spend on devices, and how does that affect my well-being and productivity? Step 8, decide if you should go to the next level. After reflecting on the previous steps, ask yourself if moving to the next level of minimalism feels right for you. The goal is to find balance, so if you are satisfied with where you are, that is perfectly fine. Your definition of enough may also shift as you grow and change, so what feels good today may not align with your needs anymore in the future. That's why it's good to make it a habit to periodically revisit or think what enough means for you right now. I'm, for example, very satisfied where I am right now in my life, but I would really like to try extreme minimalism one day just to see how it is. Ultimately, minimalism is about creating a fulfilling life that resonates with your values. So the right level is the one that feels the best for you. For more minimalist tips, check out this video next. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to stay kind and meaningful in your own beautiful journey. See you in the next one.